Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episodic episode of Inside the Ropes. I am the CEO, Malcolm King, alongside me, ACW CEO, Chris Mack, and my beautiful, elegant wife, the general manager, co-owner of PCW, Lavender D. Guys, we are live and in living color here in our secure, safe, perfect venue that we probably should not have spent as much money on as we did for with everything that is happening right now, but we'll just blame that one on the asylum, because they are the ones who are under the microscope, so to speak, at the moment, based off of all of their
because they've been spending all the monies, not us anymore. No more magical ACW credit card. No, that's gone.
No, it is vanished into thin air, and it is the CEO Donald Smith's fault, and I hate to throw my own twin brother under the bus like that.
I wasn't going to blame him, but
at the end of the day,
somebody over there.
At the end of the day, I can't afford an FBI investigation. Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not at all. So. Without further ado, Mr. Mack, I love you. You are amazing, but you have to fire or write up someone in your office because they have neglected to send me the results of what happened during Terror this week.
Oh well, I may or may not be in the process of hiring a new assistant. So,
what happened to the last one?
We fired her.
Yeah.
Why?
Because things like this.
Because of things like this. Exactly. But let's give a shout out while Chris Mack is figuring out how I'm going to receive said results for Terror. Let's give a shout out to all the individuals who are watching live right now, showing support for the MPCW family. We have the Elite Rockstar. That's just way too much to say.
Johnny Allegiance is in the house, baby.
Johnny Allegiance is in the house. The real this guy in the room, the real Tim Cyphers, is here.
There he is.
Live in living color, and along with
the
billionaire himself, Mason Stevens. Shout out to you guys. I do want to make another announcement on the PCW side of things. We have a brand new background poster, whatever you want to call it, courtesy of the one and only Chris Laird. So shout out to Chris Laird for that, as well as a name change for Phenomenal Championship Wrestling. We are a entire company. Our entity or show, so to speak, is now being called Mayhem, and paying homage to ACW of old, the original ACW, where we had Tuesday Night Terror, Wednesday Night Mayhem, Monday Night Massacre. So
and Saturday Asylum After Dark, baby.
Saturday Asylum After
Don't forget
Dark.
it.
So paying homage to the creators of ACW from back in the day, Blake Mayton, Tony Parker.
Absolutely.
I felt it was right for Phenomenal Championship Wrestling to carry on the name of Mayhem. So Phenomenal Championship Wrestling presents Mayhem. Allegiance Championship Wrestling presents Terror. And Happy Man Asylum presents Happy Man Asylum. So without further ado, Mac, did I get the results or no?
I sent them to somebody by your name.
That is scary. But let's start with ACW this week. As we sit here, a lot of things happened this week in regards to both shows for Terror and for Mayhem. Amazing action all the way around on both shows. But let's start with ACW. And real quick, before you jump right into that, I don't know why Mr. Condon is using two different accounts, but it does have a nice ring to it. However, you
click the little link. Let us see your name. All I'm saying.
And you've always been a millionaire, Mason. So it's nothing new for you. And then compliment to my wife.
Of course.
Hey! Watch your mouth now.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, watch your mouth. Well, let's jump into ACW. Inform our viewers, all 5 of these viewers, and to those 5 viewers, please do your best to go into the group chat, go onto the page, share, tag, invite people. We want to have the same support and showing as Asylum does on Saturdays, and we greatly would appreciate if that were to happen on a regular basis, even for the mainstream show, because yes, we don't have Cookie on our show with us, and yes, we don't have the CEO Donald Smith, but we are all MPCW, and that support should be all the way around as
absolutely.
A family. So to you, Chris Mack, well, I figured out your results and stuff. And
yes, we can see you now.
And Alec is in the building as well. Shout out to our sister.
It's her fault.
It is definitely her fault. But that's neither here or there. Mr. Mack, I will hand the mic over to you.
I mean, I'd love to get into match number 1 tonight, but I mean, we didn't start off Terror this week with a match. Unfortunately, we started it off with an all-out brawl. It was supposed to be a debuting outpatient from Asylum, Mr. David Blake, taking on one half of the ACW Tag Team Champions, Nikki Hartman, in a qualifying match that the winner of this match would have moved on to Apocalypse to be in a ladder match for the ACW United States Championship. However, when Mr. David Blake arrived to the arena and when Nikki Hartman arrived to the arena, you can assume and pretty much easily guess who was there waiting on them. Yeah, those assholes. Renegade in its entirety, Jackson Law, Flower Princess, Austin Kruger, Casey Riddle, and Sarabai.
Wow.
We're all backstage waiting on them, and a brawl broke out. In fact, not only were all those people involved, it's not my fault, I promise. But our third match of the evening, the competitors for that match were involved. Raw and Johnny Rockstar got involved.
Wow.
So we had injuries. David Blake wasn't able to compete fully. Nikki Hartman wasn't cleared by medical staff. Rockstar and Raw we had to have security physically separate them. That was the only two we could actually separate because Renegade has their little personal, whatever you want to call them, security. Yes, she did.
Now listen, right. We have video.
You and Raw
footage.
could not wait to get your hands on each other this week. You couldn't wait till you got in the ring. No. You seen a brawl break out, you saw the opportunity, and you two went after it. In the middle of all that chaos. Chaos Storm, Elite, Rock
God, Thunder.
God, Undisputed.
Yeah, that guy. So let me be clear real quick, Mac. Not only did Nikki Hartman and David Blake not get an opportunity to qualify for the United States Championship match at Apocalypse 4, but we also didn't even get an opportunity to see Raw versus Rockstar because both of these gentlemen decided that it was now or never for this feud that they have carried on.
You got to remember, Raw, even though, coming here under his name that we know him more familiarly by, is also an outpatient from Asylum. So maybe he didn't have his proper medicine. It's Alex's fault. She didn't medicate him. Didn't make sure he had his proper medications. So, he took the opportunity. So now we don't have our first qualifier for the ladder match. There's going to be an empty spot there. The only competitor we knew would have been the ACW United States Champion, Casey Luchador. So now, it was either 420, it was either 420 times, or it was 710. I'm not sure. That may have been Riddle slamming Nikki's head into a car back there, the 710 times. That's his little whatever. But, so now, I got to break the news to you two because now our week is going to be filled with a meeting. Because we got to figure out what we're going to do with that open spot. We're part of the board of directors. It's out of my power. They've already been blowing up my phone.
I feel like this is a you issue, not a Malcolm and I issue.
I agree. Why couldn't I just decide?
I feel being
we have to play things by the book because
we're under a microscope.
Someone in another branch of the tree here has caused Asylum to be under a microscope. So now we have to do everything by the book. So
pesky allergies, man. Sorry.
Need some.
Well, I guess that's what our week consists of. Board meetings.
Well,
it's so fun waking up at 4 a.m. every day and sitting in a cold office room, conference room with no good coffee because CEO Donald Smith makes it all. He drinks it all before we even get there.
You got to bring your own. You have to bring your own coffee.
Bring your own coffee.
Well, you got to wake up even earlier to get to the meeting so you can stop and get coffee.
It's terrible. It's absolutely or you have a wife like mine who decides to kick it all over the floor or spill it all over the bed, things like that. So.
I've considered how we can get around the coffee issue, and I think I figured it out. My limo has a fridge, right? Mm-hmm. We can take jugs of the cold brew that you can buy, like the Starbucks cold brew. We can put them in that fridge, and then individually, conveniently have to go to the bathroom every few hours, and someone was handing out free coffee on the way back, and we can have coffee.
If it involves us having to use money that we literally don't have, thanks to whoever decided to have that bright idea of building that ginormous arena, stadium, whatever you want to call it, in the Ukraine, it's probably not going to happen. We are already in trouble.
I don't know who did that. They just
PCW
we got told, hey,
PCW,
we're approved to build a stadium in the middle of fucking Ukraine, in the middle of a war. So we did it.
On top of that, it's the board. I hate to throw out all of our dirty laundry here live for all of our viewers to hear and know about, but someone in the PCW brand has been using company money to go on extravagant vacations with a individual whose initials are PM, which I'm still trying to figure out what those initials stand for.
A certain college football analyst, even.
So, with that being said, we'll jump over to the PCW.
Well, I have money.
Jump over.
Well,
to
since
the
you
PCW.
have money, if you would be so kind to pick up some coffee monsters on the way to the meeting, I'd appreciate it.
I'll get on it. I'll call my personal assistant after the show. It sounds like
I'm glad you still have one. Unlike me.
Yeah, because like you, my
brother, I
had
to fire budget cuts.
We had to do a lot of cuts. I had to do a lot of cuts. Apparently, Lavender though, which now that Lavender's just playing like she doesn't know what the hell we're talking about, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Lavender's the reason why PCW is in a lot of trouble, because Lavender's been borrowing PCW money instead of Lavender money to go on these extravagant vacations and to all these exotic places and stuff with whoever PM is. So let me talk to the people about what happened on Mayhem this week while you come up with a lie to figure that one out. We were live and in living color in Fayetteville, Arkansas at the Barnhill Arena. Match number 1 was a triple threat match, and it was our World Champions showcase. It featured the Infinity World Champion Dominator versus the ACW World Champion Tim Cyphers versus the PCW Global Champion Michael the Angel. Guys, all 3 competitors were in the ring in a stare-off. You could cut the tension with a knife. The crowd loved it. The crowd was on their feet. They were screaming. They were cheering. This is the first time ever in MPCW history where all 3 world champions were in the ring at the exact same time, competing for bragging rights, so to speak. They each held up their championships, and as the ref stayed in between them, maintaining order, as soon as the bell rang, Dominator and Michael teamed up and double-teamed Cyphers, tossing him out of the ring into the floor. The 2 men stood nose to nose, trash-talking each other before they began brawling. The 2 men battled back and forth for about 7 minutes or so before Cyphers leaped off the top turnbuckle, taking them both out with a crossbody. Cyphers would then connect with a running knee to the face of Michael, sending him rolling to the floor in front of the announce table. Dominator would grab a hold of Cyphers and drill him with a Dominator DDT, just planting his skull in the middle of the mat. Dominator would hook the leg, but Cyphers was able to get the shoulder up at a count of 2. Dominator would continue with this assault by locking Tim Cyphers in the Dominator clutch, straining the neck and back area of Cyphers as Cyphers was trying to reach for the bottom rope for the break of that submission hold. Dominator would drag him back to the center of the ring and try to re-lock in that hold again. By some miracle, Cyphers reversed that hold with a roll-up pin. Dominator able to kick out at the count of 2. Both men make it to their feet, only to be hit with a double clothesline courtesy of Michael the Angel. Michael would then pull Dominator to his feet and hit him with his finisher move, the God Tier. Cyphers would turn Michael around only to be hit with a vicious spine buster from Michael. As Michael grabbed Dominator, he tossed him out of the ring. He pulls Tim Cyphers to his feet, setting him up for the God tier when DOA, but I Prevail, featuring Joyner Lucas, blast on the PA system. Michael would release Cyphers as Jackson Law, with the briefcase in hand, would make his way out to the entrance stage. Law would race down to the ring, but stop with a smile on his face as he set the briefcase on the ring apron. Cyphers was able to take advantage of the distraction, spin Michael around, and hit him with a super kick, dropping him to the mat. Cyphers would turn and look at Law, who has the briefcase in hand. Dominator would get to his feet, only to be blasted in the head with that briefcase, courtesy of Law. Law would walk away, eyes fixed on Cyphers with a smile on his face as Cyphers turns and drills Michael the Angel with a curb stomp. Cyphers hooks the legs, eyes fixed on Law as the referee counts 1, 2, 3. Your winner via pinfall, the ACW World Champion, the real Tim Cyphers. So bragging rights right now for Mr. Cyphers. Guys, your thoughts on that match?
Good match.
Little mind games going into Apocalypse here.
That is very true. That is very true. Law obviously had no business out here in this match other than to get into the minds of each of these world champions because of that golden ticket, that golden opportunity that he possesses. Quite honestly, as a top competitor, especially as a world champion, I believe that it's in every single one of those men's best interest to be prepared, to have their head on a swivel, to be expecting the unexpected. And clearly, Dominator, Michael the Angel were not expecting the unexpected, as Tim Cyphers was able to pick up a pinfall victory in match number 1 here at the Barnhill Arena. Lavender, enlighten everyone on what took place in match number 2.
For sure. Match 2 was the singles match with the ACW US Championship qualifier. It has...
Hopefully this one doesn't get destroyed before we get to figure out who's in that match for you, Mac.
He doesn't look happy when he said that. Look what
hopefully. I mean, we don't need any more meetings this week.
We have a little.
We don't need to be in that damn office any longer than we already have to be.
We have a little bit of control and order.
Well, PCW. That's wonderful. That's terrific for you guys. I'm so happy. Oh.
We don't have the money to give you a right price. We're in trouble for money.
Yeah, I mean,
hell, Lavender's borderline money laundering right now, and the FBI.
Hey! Don't say that too loud. Eyes are watching.
I am sweet and innocent, and I have done nothing. No.
Clearly, someone thinks you're an angel. So
somebody agrees.
Of course, I am an angel. Anyways, this next match has Southern Heart versus Trey Camp himself. Both competitors have to fight for their opportunity to face the ACW US champion Casey Luchador at Apocalypse. Wow.
Apocalypse.
It took me a minute. My words aren't coming out. Anyway, Trey Camp and Southern Heart are in the middle of the ring, and the bell sounds. Southern Heart and Trey start out with a series of back and forth punches, the Southern Heart getting the upper hand when she pokes Trey in the eyes.
Wow.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. It was kind of foul,
but just disrespectful.
I agree. But my girl gotta do what she gotta do, you know? The ref tells Southern Heart that next time she will be disqualified. So she pushes the ref out of the way. And she goes and does a curb stomp on Trey and then goes for the pin with a 1-2 kick out. Southern Heart is in control of this match and she is shocking the world. Southern Heart is flexing to the crowd, giving Trey a second win. He gets up and Southern Heart tries for another curb stomp, but Trey moves out of the way and hits his Chi-Town slam.
Chi-Town.
That's his cheat.
It's from Chicago. It's listen, we understand you're not from the States. It's hard for you to adapt to these things, but carry on.
Chai would have an A, like the T.
Shy, Lavender. Shy. CH sound I. Shy. Chi-Town, Chicago. Carry on.
It's a power bomb if you didn't know. Trey picks her up and hits a draping DDT and goes for the pin with a 1-2, and there's a kick out. This pisses off Trey, and he gets up and connects that L7 super kick to Southern Heart. Trey waits for her to get back up to her knees before he hits his A-slow, the V-trigger knee, and goes for the pin with a 1-2-3. The winner and facing Casey Luchador for the U.S. Championship at Apocalypse. Number 4.
Wow.
Trey Camp.
Apocalypse 4.
Let's move on. Apocalypse.
Let's go. Actually, let's talk about this match real quick, just briefly. Few things here. One, at least now Casey Luchador knows one of the individuals that he will be facing for the U.S. Championship at Apocalypse 4. Trey Camp and Southern Heart put on a show here. Now, we saw some things from Southern Heart, and some people might sit here and see this match and see the results of this match, and they'll say, wow, that does not sound or seem like Southern Heart whatsoever, but she's shown that she can, when the time comes, she can get down and dirty with the best of them. And sometimes she's able to go to that place to get the job done. So a great showing from Southern Heart. Any thoughts from you two in regards to that match?
I thought it was a great match. I think Southern Heart is a great talent, and really she tried to show.
Under certain internal conditions,
Alexa,
the heart
stop.
is incapable of acting as the master regulator of every system in our body.
Wow. No idea what that. Carry on. For the love of God.
This show's going great. I do think. I think Southern Heart is a great talent, and she really tried to show her best work for this match. But when it came down to it, she just wasn't there yet.
Mac, any thoughts for you? Because I mean, this is a good setup now for one of your big matches that you have on this huge WrestleMania style pay-per-view that we have coming up December 16th. So what are your thoughts on this number one contender or qualifying match, I should say, for that United States Championship?
I mean, great showing by both competitors. You know, a lot of people, like you said, you know, they look down on
hashtag damn Alexa.
You're not.
They look down on Southern Heart, but many of them may not remember she spent a little time over in Asylum, and she's shown she can get a little crazy, if you will. Now tonight, it just wasn't enough, you know, to beat the Ace, the Deacon, doing what he does best. Because I mean, and let's talk about this for a second. This this moves Trey Camp into this ladder match. That this is a homage to the original Apocalypse. The original Apocalypse was basically, except for I believe 2 or 3 matches, it was a tournament. Oh boy, why? Whose child is that one?
Alex.
Ah, that explains everything.
Yeah.
That explains everything. But yeah, great showing by both competitors. Trey Camp moving on.
I also want to point out too, we all collectively as a board of directors made a decision to retire and vacate the MPCW branded championships. Trey Camp was a current reigning defending champion of one of those championships. So this is an opportunity, so to speak, and it shows with Trey Camp getting the victory here that he wants to be a champion, to have gold in his possession and on his shoulder. So a great win here for Trey Camp because it definitely puts him in line for that type of an opportunity at Apocalypse 4.
Absolutely.
Moving on to ACW, let's jump into, I suppose, the third match?
It would now, it was actually, this was scheduled to be the second match of the evening. It is now the first match of the evening here in the Simmons Bank Arena. And I was trying.
Oh my god.
No.
I guess we have to do it this way. Yeah, there you
go.
Oh boy.
Finally getting into the action here at the Simmons Bank Arena. I'm not even looking at whatever's on the screen right now. We had another qualifying match, the United States Championship ladder match at Apocalypse, with the other half of the ACW Tag Team Champions, Brackus, whichever you prefer, taking on Kenzo X, Blackheart.
Returning Kenzo X.
Yes, returning, trying to get some momentum in his favor, and this is a big opportunity for him here. As the two men are in the ring, they circle around each other. They're ready to go head to head. Brackus goes for he quickly goes for a powerbomb early on in the match, but Kenzo reversed it and he nailed a huge DDT right there. But it's not enough to keep Brackus down. The two men go back and forth, but Kenzo just can't get enough momentum. He can't keep Brackus down here. He begins to get frustrated. Kenzo then goes, excuse me. The action takes a spill over the ropes, and Kenzo goes for a suicide dive, but Brackus catches him midair, and this was beautiful. It kind of reminded me, I don't know the exact name of the move. It's on NXT. The guy takes him and he kind of throws him into the ropes from the outside and then clotheslines him on the rebound. Now imagine that, but instead the guy's coming over the rope. And Brackus just nailed him with that, I believe it's the corporate clothesline, cutthroat clothesline.
Clothesline from Siberia.
Clothesline from Siberia. Yes, comrades. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. I forgot he was Russian in another life. Yeah. The crowd was chanting. They were chanting. Kenzo's barely getting back to his feet as Brackus is back in the ring and Kenzo is on the outside and he is frustrated. He gets on the apron and he begins arguing with the referee. Dumb move. Excuse me, I had a burp caught. There it is. Better.
Yikes.
Pardon me. But while he's on the apron arguing with the referee, Brackus catches him and clotheslines him in the hard way over the top rope and back into the ring. Then Brackus unleashes a flurry of punches and kicks to Kenzo. Brackus goes, he nails a corporate spear, but it's only good for 2. Kenzo barely kicking out there in the 2 3/4 even. When Kenzo tries to get to his feet again, he's dazed and he's frustrated. He starts wildly swinging at Brackus, but Brackus ducks and goes for a whiplash? No? Anybody?
I'm pretty sure that move is called the Russian roulette, but
there it is. I knew Russian roulette, and he goes for the pin, and it's good for the 1, the 2, and the 3. Ladies and gentlemen, our second qualifier tonight, going to that ladder match at Apocalypse, is Brackus.
So we have the United States champion, Casey Luchador, versus the Deacon of Debauchery, the Ace, Trey Camp, versus Brackus. That is one hell of a ladder match. And quite frankly, I mean, let's just be honest. Okay, let's just be real. I think to save us all the torment and torture of having to sit in a cold, freezing conference room, we should just leave it a triple threat. Problem solved. Case closed. We get to sleep in on Monday.
I like it.
Hammer down. Case closed.
Yeah. Case closed.
I like it.
Sure.
Sleep in on
Monday. Just skipped a whole meeting. See, instead of a meeting, that was an email. I like it.
It wasn't even an email. It was just an announcement.
Someone called Kenzo X Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Lord.
Speaking of Kenzo X, however, we had a little something interesting happen backstage. Kenzo is walking backstage. He sees Johnny Rockstar getting tended to by our medical staff, and they kind of have somewhat of a conversation there. Our cameras couldn't quite pick up what was going on, but
Kenzo shut the door in their faces real quick.
Yeah.
Wonder what that's about. But let's go back over to Mayhem's side of things here on this episode of Inside the Ropes. And match number 3.
Get your child out of the comment section.
Lord have mercy. Match number 3 was a tag team match. It featured Renegades, All Allegiance champion Austin Kruger, and the Enforcer, as they're referring to him as, Sarabai, versus the Dedicated Gunner and Mason Stevens. As the bell rings, Mason Stevens charges at Sarabai, trying to get him off his feet. We see the classic battle between speed and strength, when all of a sudden Sarabai is able to catch Mason square in the face with a back elbow, dropping him to the mat. As Mason gets up, Sarabai lifts him in the air and drops him with the gorilla press, reminiscent of the Ultimate Warrior there. Sarabai reaches down and picks him up again as he walks him over and tags in Austin, and Austin is fresh for the pickings to just pick apart Mason Stevens after that phenomenal move there from Sarabai. Austin climbs to the top rope, and both members of Renegade hit a neckbreaker Samoan drop combo on Mason Stevens, and the impact of that move alone, I honestly thought that it was going to be over, but they didn't go for a cover as Mason struggles to defend himself against Austin. He's able to get his foot up against Austin's chest and push it out. Both men get to their feet and start trading lefts and rights before Mason ducks under one of Austin's swings and tags in Gunner. Gunner comes in, charging at Austin, hitting him with a clothesline before bouncing off the ropes and taking out Sarabai in the corner. Gunner goes over and picks up Austin, only to be hit with a stunner as both men start to get to their feet. Austin runs over to tag Sarabai in, only for Mason to run around the outside of the ring, grab Sarabai by his feet, and yank him off the ring apron.
Ooh.
Gunner grabs Austin and lifts him in the air with a suspended suplex before Austin is able to twist his hips and nail Gunner with a vicious DDT before rolling out of the ring, guys. So impact after impact here in this match. As the referee starts counting Austin out, he demands Gunner to tag in Mason. And Austin pretty much telling him, I'm not getting back in this ring unless you get Mason in the match. And after a few seconds, Gunner reluctantly tags in his partner, who runs to the ropes and starts taunting Austin. Kruger walks over to the announcer's table. He looks at Mason. He gives him the double bird and picks up not only his All Allegiance Championship, but Mason's briefcase. Now, that briefcase gives Mason the opportunity to challenge Austin Kruger for that All Allegiance Championship at a time of his choosing. Mason instantly rolls out of the ring and goes after Austin. The referee starts counting as both Austin and Mason head up the ramp. Just as the referee gets to 10, as both men stand at the top of the ramp. As both men glare at each other, the referee calls for the bell, declaring this match a double countout. Mason charges in and tries to take Austin down, only for Austin to sidestep him and trip him. Just as Austin starts to walk away, Mason reaches over and yanks both of his feet out from under him, causing Austin to fall face first into the grate. Both men are glaring at each other before starting to throw heavy lefts and rights as they get to their feet. Officials and security rush out and try to separate these two as the referee heads out of the ring to try and assist. What they don't realize here, guys, though, is Sarabai and Gunner are in the ring and they are starting to brawl as well, as both men are throwing haymakers when Gunner sends Sarabai against the ropes with a vicious European uppercut. As Sarabai is propped against the ropes, Gunner goes to send him over the top rope, and the last second, Sarabai pulls down that top rope. As sending Gunner to the floor, as Gunner gets to his feet, Sarabai launches himself through the ropes in a suicide dive. As both men are on the outside of the ring now and they get to their feet, Gunner grabs Sarabai and hits him with a DDT on the steel steps. As Sarabai rolls on the ground, Gunner reaches down and grabs him. Suddenly, a large white cloud shoots up and hits Gunner in the face. As Gunner tries to clear his vision, Sarabai stands up holding a fire extinguisher. He connects with that fire extinguisher to Gunner in the midsection with him doubling over. Sarabai walks over and grabs his ACW hardcore title and walks around the ring. He pulls out a few gusset plates and wire, attaching the plates to his title. Sarabai is waiting for Gunner to stand up. As security realizes what's going on, they make their way down. They restrain him as more security rush out, and they get both men to their individual lockers. So thank God for security, because Gunner was about to suffer from facial reconstruction surgery.
Oh, that was going to get pretty extreme real fast right there, folks.
Which we have to be careful. Remember, meetings. Do we want to be in more meetings when someone gets facial?
I mean, he's a hardcore champion. He's a hardcore champion.
But it wasn't a hardcore match.
I mean, the match was over, so that was...
I'm just saying, if we're being careful, we gotta be careful in all regards. So it's probably for the best that security stepped in.
I suppose.
I mean, honestly, I'm glad that we did not have to suffer through seeing something like that happen. I don't think I can stomach it.
And I just got new Louis last night, so if you had my cons, we would have an issue.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Well.
Yeah, that's what your little decoder ring gave you there, kid. Alec, come get your child, I told you.
Alec, come and get your dang child. Let's jump into the co-main event here.
What the fuck is this? Wait. I know you see this one. I know you see that. Don't pull it up. Just, you see it.
Wow.
Thanks, YouTube viewers.
Somebody, please, get a hold of Donald Smith and inform him to do his job for these 3 advertisements that we have here. While someone does that, let's take another look at the Apocalypse 4 hype video that was created by the same person who created the PCW Mayhem poster.
I hear he creates a lot of things around here.
Yeah. Oh, and before we do that, Mason has a few words for us.
Oh, looks like Jackson Law isn't the only one.
Amazing video. Great job to Chris Laird on that one. Co-main event time here for Phenomenal Championship Wrestling Mayhem. We saw none other than the felonious one, Mr. Danger versus Big Sexy Lavender. This match definitely lived up to the hype, so to speak.
I'd say so.
It was a a very interesting match, and we will definitely get into that here shortly because there were some things, some shenanigans, as I like to say, that took place.
Mr.
Match that
more orderly company, huh? Yeah, yeah. I see your order there, buddy.
That took place, and it was a it was interesting. Mason is livid, by the way, and then we got some support going on there. So shout out to the supporter there. Let's jump into that co-main event, though, ladies and gentlemen. Big Sexy made it clear, just a quick description. Big Sexy made it clear 2 weeks ago that he did not care too much about the Dedicated Nice Guy act after the interference in the Cypher's Danger match. Now Big Sexy will go one-on-one with the Foundation of Misery, the felonious Mr. Danger. Management wanted this match. We wanted this match to have no distractions, no interference, no interruptions. So The ring will be surrounded with security guards in riot gear who will act as lumberjacks, but not for the competitors, for any individuals who will try to ruin a definite classic. So both competitors are in the ring as the referee calls for the bell. Big Sexy and Danger start exchanging lefts and rights. Big Sexy kicks Danger in the gut. Big Sexy would then hit the ropes and nail Danger with a big boot. As Big Sexy picks Danger up and gorilla presses Danger to the outside of the ring. So absolute power being shown here by Big Sexy, especially taking it to one such as the felonious one, Mr. Danger. So Big Sexy rolls out of the ring when the security surrounding the ring block Big Sexy his way. Big Sexy turns around to walk away, but then turns around and runs straight through the security, sending them to the floor. Just completely blasted through them like when we were kids and we would play Red Rover. Just completely destroyed the security that were trying to block him. Big Sexy walks towards Danger when one of the security members pushes Big Sexy into the ring post. Danger gets up and tosses Big Sexy into the ring. As Danger gets into the ring, he nails Big Sexy with a massive discus lariat, knocking Big Sexy down. Danger would then climb to the top rope and lands the yellow tape, that top rope leg drop, onto Big Sexy.
Oof.
Danger picks Big Sexy up and tosses him back outside of the ring. The security, armed with batons, start attacking Big Sexy. And it's not all security. Let me just clarify this for everyone. It's a group of these security guards are attacking Big Sexy outside of the ring when we taken over hits the PA system, and here comes the dedicated. But the ringside security split up and they're doing their job, so to speak, because we did not want any interference. So a good amount of them are blocking the dedicated from getting to the ring as the remaining ringside security slam Big Sexy through the announce table, pick him up, and roll him back into the ring. Danger waits for Big Sexy to reach his feet and nails him with a Daminator, the running turnbuckle bomb, into a discus lariat.
Oof.
Danger would then grab Big Sexy and nail him with a Danger Valley driver, not once, but twice, before covering Big Sexy as the referee counts 1, 2, 3. Your winner via pinfall, the felonious Mr. Danger. But guys, after the match, the ringside security climb into the ring and remove their helmets, revealing themselves to be none other than Renegade and Misery.
Wow.
The dedicated bust through the security, and just as they get to the ring, Renegade and Misery roll out of the ring and head through the crowd as the dedicated follow and chase. Tim Cyphers remains in the ring as he tries to help Big Sexy to his feet when all of a sudden Big Sexy nails Tim Cyphers with a low blow. So if that fan is still hashtag protect the Nats in full effect right here. But a low blow to Tim Cyphers followed by the long D pipe, that Claymore kick. As the members of the dedicated stand there in shock, Big Sexy makes his way to the back as the dedicated get into the ring and assist and help the real Tim Cyphers. So I think it is pretty clear that Big Sexy is done with the dedicated.
Oh, and you gotta know, you gotta believe that Misery and Renegade are loving every minute of that right there.
Mm-hmm.
Can someone answer this fan's question? Mac.
I ain't answering that. I've seen what happened to Bobby Wagner. I know when to shut up.
I know when. Well, I will answer this fan's question. I believe the term goes enemy.
There it is.
Well, let's just say this:
enemy of my
they share
enemy.
a common enemy. They share a common enemy. And a lot of people have been speculating that this arrival, this creation of the dedicated has allowed for this mega dominant faction of Misery and Renegade to form as one, to work on the same terms, to work together. And that is, in part, might be the fault of the dedicated. I mean,
I would say
it was one thing to, only have to worry about Renegade with PCW and Misery with ACW, but now it's just like they're this unstoppable force of nature that cohesive faction absolutely is what you can call Misery and Renegade. I mean, it is scary to see it, and unfortunately for MPCW universe, the only faction that seems to be able to stand toe to toe with this cohesive faction of Misery and Renegade has been none other than the dedicated. So at least they're trying to fix what they created. Moving on to the ACW side of things, we are going to jump right into the main event, I believe.
it would be the co-main event.
Your co-main event for you. Let's see what's going on the Renegade side of things, as Lavender is having issues. Cool. Now Lavender has a black screen. Carry on, my brother. She's probably taking a phone call from PM.
Huh. Speaking of Renegade, and we've talked a lot about the United States champion from ACW. Those two forces met as KC Luchador took on Flower Princess, the first lady, if you will, of Renegade. I mean, you could kind of say Misery by association, but we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that.
We don't need you getting slapped across the face by Madam D.
No,
we don't need Madam D attacking
Chris
Mack.
Yep. That was it. I knew there was somebody. Miami and whatnot, Both Flower and Luchador circle each other in the center of the ring. Luchador tries to catch her he tries to scoop her up in a bear hug early in the match, only for Flower Princess starts delivering swift kicks to the legs, chopping the bigger KC Luchador down, it would seem. Wonderful for you, guy. Flower Princess is trying to chop down KC Luchador.
Swiping left.
As she nails a vicious knee strike to his face. She goes for a second. Well, hello there.
She literally just laid across the table.
Well, you know who she was talking to on that other line.
Not even going to ask.
Flower goes for a second knee strike to the face, but Luchador somehow matrixes. Is that how you would say that? The Neo out of it. And
I'll accept it.
And then, you ready for this? Everybody, all you Cobra Kai fans and Karate Kid fans, this part is just for you. Then he swept the leg.
Sweep the leg. I like it. She probably didn't like it, but I like it.
I mean, she of course she did. He hits that Matrix move, and then he rebalances and he sweeps the leg to trip up Flower Princess, and she goes down face first right into that middle turnbuckle. Luckily for her, there's a little bit of padding in there, but still that doesn't tickle.
It does not feel nice on the noggin, I tell you that much.
Absolutely not. I mean, you're the Guillot, you know.
Greatest of all time. As far
You know how those turnbuckles feel. You got a ring to train in.
I do have to say, I have literally never hit a turnbuckle in my career. Ever.
Well, I wouldn't want to hit the ones in Asylum. I hear there's no padding over there.
And they explode sometimes.
It's just that they explode sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The only cushion I've ever heard of is some barbed wire. Barbed wire and C4 packages. I mean.
And Michelle, cross-dresser Michelle's.
Stop. Stop. For the love of God, Zelzabar, whoever, please stop.
For the love of law.
Oprah Winfrey, Jackson Law, anybody in Renegade.
Minus Sarah.
Well, yeah.
His time will come, I hear.
For the love of Tom Cruise, use your witchcraft to stop it.
Expects it.
I don't know how that works. I'm not a god. I'm just
when Sarah by least
CEO.
Expects it.
Don't expect it. That's what I'm hearing. Wait, what happened to my pages here? Okay. Luchador gets to his feet and he starts stomping Flower Princess right in the back between her shoulder blades.
Ow.
That's gotta hurt.
Mm-hmm.
After he does this until the referee finally starts his count. He gets a clean break. He then pulls her away from the turnbuckle and down to the mat. He climbs to the middle rope and he's attempting an elbow drop. Is that you, Anonymous Shrew?
Yes.
Only for Flower Princess to move out of the way at the last second when she quickly gets back to her feet, kind of kips up there and grabs him by the hair and picks him back up. She finds her as she's picking him up. Okay, the writer didn't. I don't think they explained that good enough. So allow me. Flower Princess has Casey Luchador by the mask, the hair, whichever. She's pulling him up, and before she can get him to his feet, he grabs her leg and nails a dragon screw leg whip, taking her down to the mat. Shades of the Great Muta, baby. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Luchador quickly grabs her and he drags her to the center of the ring before locking in the STF. She starts struggling as he, pardon me, wasn't even a misspell. He keeps his grip on the hold. She starts to roll to get out of the hold. He breaks the hold and he kicks her in the stomach and he goes for a pin, but that's only good for two. I mean, anybody could have told you, you can't that smart move, but you should have followed up with something beside a pin first. That's all I'm saying. What? Yeah. Comment sections. He grabs her. Now he grabs her and he locks in the camel clutch. Shades of the Iron Sheik, baby. As he holds her in place, she grabs his feet and she leans backwards, breaking the hold, and she pins him only for a 2 count. As the action continues here, Flower quickly gets to her feet and she starts nailing him with repeated elbow strikes.
Vicious elbow strikes too.
Vicious. I mean, she was. I heard a few choice words with those every strike there.
A lot
Especially
of
for that. Oh,
tons of curse.
We had to cut the ringside mic out for that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like all the cameras ringside, we had to cut the mics. Can't have that.
Damn potty mouth.
She backs him into the corner and climbs up the ropes.
Your mic's muted.
Oh. Wait, who's... Oh,
I said Flower Princess would never. She is not potty mouth.
Right. Carry on.
Roses have thorns, and that's all I'm saying.
Are you saying she has lots of thorns then?
Hell hath no fury.
Fact.
As a woman scorned. All I'm saying.
Okay.
And he had her nice and pissed off. I mean, let's be honest.
Let's just leave it like that.
Princess goes for the royal splash, but Luchador rolls out of the way at the last second as both lay motionless on the mat as the ref starts his count. He gets to 8 before both finally get up to their feet to start stirring. Flower gets moving first as she rushes over, and correction there because that's not the name of that move. She nails him with the royal knockout, that stunner. She pins him. She gets the pin, but it's only good for 2. Luchador gets his foot on the rope last second. Ring awareness, folks. Ring awareness. Wow. Frustrated, she pulls him back to his feet as she nails a second royal knockout. This time in the middle of the ring. She goes for the pin, but the referee cannot see the way she rolled him, the way he fell for this. She has her feet propped on the ropes for extra leverage this time, but the referee cannot see it as he counts the 1, the 2, and the 3. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Flower Princess.
Atta girl, that's my girl.
Yeah, so not sure if you saw her or not, but last week she said that, or 2 weeks ago, she said she hates when you refer to her as your girl.
That's what I heard.
I heard that, and guess what? She's a girl.
Yes.
And she is part of your roster, technically.
Your girl.
She's technically part of my roster. She's in my women's division. Therefore, she's my girl.
Got it. Lavender D versus Flower Princess.
No, thank you.
That's what I thought.
Wow, someone is really upset with Casey Luchador as well.
They're not a fan of the man-on-woman violence in that match, but
I mean, hey, this around here. I don't know if you guys noticed it. We deactivated the ACW Women's Championship. Now we have deactivated the MPCW Women's Championship because, hey, let's be honest, the women around here are tough enough. They can go blow for blow with the men.
True.
They don't need their own specific division to protect them. They're wildly characters, as I'm sure Lavender can tell you all about that.
Agreed. Well, let's jump into the main event for PCW Mayhem, and then we'll get into the main event for ACW Terror. PCW's main event featured a tag team match. It was Renegade's own Jackson Law and a woman that we were just mentioning, Flower Princess, versus Mephisto and the Radical Champion, Sabrina. Now, Jackson and Flower Princess walk down the ramp hand in hand as pyrotechnics go off and rose petals fall from the sky. Jackson gets into the ring and holds the middle rope for Flower Princess to get into the ring. They kiss and both stand in the corner, clearly hyped and ready for this match. Mephisto and Sabrina run down the ramp. They don't even let their music play. They just run down the ramp. And Sabrina instantly starts to attack Flower Princess as Mephisto goes to his corner and cheers as Sabrina is laying heavy lefts and rights to Flower Princess. Flower Princess doesn't even have time to react before she gets clotheslined to the mat by Sabrina. Ow. Sabrina showing some dominance here on Flower Princess in the early settings of this match. Now, Flower Princess gets up and is barely standing before another clothesline. And as Princess falls to the mat, she gets hit with a running knee strike to the face before landing on the mat. Princess rolls out of the ring as Jackson checks on her and whispers something in her ear. He kisses Princess and she rolls back in, ducks under a clothesline, runs the ropes, and hits Sabrina with a spear. Princess pulls Sabrina to her feet and nails a royal knockout. The correct terminology of that move.
Hey, stunner. I called it correctly.
I know you did. I know you did.
The writer, however, did not.
Princess is quick to tag Jackson in as Jackson brings Sabrina to her feet and runs the ropes and hits her with his Law and Order to Superman punch. Mephisto is yelling at Law from the corner as Law grabs Sabrina and drags her to her corner, allowing Sabrina to tag Mephisto, who gets met with a Chaos Dagger, that spear, as soon as he gets into the ring. Mephisto gets to his feet, but is met with a side headlock. He would then reverse it, giving Jackson a headlock of his own before he walks him into the corner and punches Jackson multiple times in the gut. Jackson does not seem fazed, however, as Mephisto gets frustrated and rakes Jackson's eyes and gives him huge blows to the gut. Mephisto pulls Law out of the corner, drills him with a Glasgow kiss as Sabrina tags herself in and runs the ropes and drop kicks a dazed Jackson, who's still rubbing his eyes. She goes for the pin, but is only able to muster a 2 count here.
Got to do more than that to keep that man down.
Yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly with that. She gets up, kicks him a few times before dragging him to the middle of the ring and hits the most perfect standing moonsault. She goes for another pin, but again is only able to muster a 2 count.
Ooh.
Sabrina is pissed and tags in Mephisto, who runs full speed into Jackson, who just got back up and is laid out flat on the mat again. Mephisto begins skipping and jumping around the ring as Sabrina screams at him to focus. This allows Law the precious moments needed to make a tag to Princess as Princess runs full force to Mephisto, who grabs her and Irish whips her into the corner where Jackson is. Princess is annoyed and runs the ropes and drop kicks Mephisto, laying him onto the mat. Princess makes crybaby taunts and Sabrina is fed up, screaming at her. Sabrina gets into the ring and is nose to nose with Flower Princess. The two women are trash talking each other when Mephisto has had enough as he grabs Princess, spins her around, and goes for a Glasgow kiss, but Princess ducks out of the way, causing Mephisto to drill Sabrina with that Glasgow kiss, knocking her to the outside of the ring. Mephisto looks shocked for a moment before turning his attention to Princess. Sabrina is on her feet, however, and grabs the ankles of Mephisto and drags him to the outside of the ring. Mephisto and Sabrina brawl outside of the ring as Mephisto knocks Sabrina to the ground and grabs her title. And here's where the shenanigans begin again, guys, because he makes that giant carnival box appear seemingly out of nowhere with the flash of the lights, this giant
Wait
carnival
a
box
minute.
is right here in front of us, only for Sabrina to spear him into the box. The two fight inside of the box for a while. The box is shaking and carnival music can be heard. Mephisto makes it out and shuts the door, trapping Sabrina and her title inside. He waves his wand, making a bomb appear on the box. And was it for me, guys, because listen, we're already in enough trouble as is. This is some straight asylum bogus craziness happening. I push the button, the asylum siren sounds, but right as the doctors get to the ringside area, Mephisto makes the bomb explode, filling the arena with confetti.
Oh.
Witch's Circle appears on the Phenometron.
Oh no!
With Sabrina laughing sadistically, holding her title. Law will spin Mephisto around and connects with a DOA, that RKO, out of nowhere. He tosses Mephisto into the ring as Princess is perched on the top turnbuckle. She nails him with the prettiest elbow drop, hooking the leg. The referee counts 1, 2, 3. Your winners via pinfall, Renegade's own Jackson Law and Flower Princess. And I think, and I say this wholeheartedly, I think Mephisto has learned his lesson fucking with Sabrina the Psychotic.
I'm not so sure about that.
Also, just to throw this out here, there have been rumors stating that a former ACW competitor, known as the Ringmaster, has been training Mephisto.
Great.
JR Bell has this thing called the rumor mill. It's his little segment that no one has ever seen before, but he was telling me about it after he stayed the whole week with me because his father is and I quote, jackass. So
these sound like the thrown away reports from Charlie Meltzer.
Yeah, well, listen, JR Bell said these are his rumor mills. He said he has his own TV show. It airs every single day. I've yet to see one of these shows, but according to JR Bell's rumor mill, Mephisto has been trained by the Ringmaster.
Sure. Every day, Fox News.
That is our nephew, and we have no choice but to accept him for the weird case that he.
This is true.
But main event time for ACW. I will kick it off for you, my brother, and let you finish it out. It is a Falls Count Anywhere match between Jackson Law and a former world champion or champion.
Well, not world,
Irish
but Asylum champion, very much so.
The Irish Pitbull. Now the ring announcer begins. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Anywhere in the building.
That's right.
The lights in the arena go down as the spotlight fills the ring. Introducing first, he is the former Asylum champion, former Legendary champion, former ACW Hardcore champion, former ACW Tag Team champion. He is the Irish Pitbull. Introducing next, he is a former, and Jackson literally hates.
Yeah, he hates this part. He hates that part right there.
He is a former ACW World Champion and a former PCW Infinity and Global Champion. He is the Black Print Jackson Law. The two men circle each other. Flower Princess is on the outside yelling at Irish Pitbull. He turns to her and says something when Jackson Law goes for the Lawless, but Irish goes for the takedown and locks in the Irish curse, or the curse of the Irish. Law is fighting it, but Irish has the hold in tight. The Law fights back and turns over and goes for a roll-up that's only good for a 2 count. The battle continues as the two men leave the ring and fight throughout the crowd. Irish can't keep Law down after multiple chair shots. Irish whips Law into the barricade, then nails a clothesline, sending both men over the guardrail and back to the ringside area. Irish tries to send Law into the ring post, but Law reverses and sends Irish face first into the post instead.
Oh,
action.
That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
Face full of posts, just eating still.
Eating it.
At least he got his iron for the week. Hey-oh! Back to you, Malcolm.
The action gets back to the ring as the momentum has turned in Jackson Law's favor as he begins to punish Irish Pitbull. Law is stalking Pitbull from the corner. Pitbull is trying to get back to his feet as Law nails a sinner's judgment, the curb stomp. He then scoops Irish up for the kneel at the altar, but instead of going for the pin, he is stalking Irish Pitbull and nails another sinner's judgment. And another. Finally, the referee has to call for the bell and ends the match, awarding it to Jackson Law. I mean, multiple sinners' judgments.
And referee had no choice. He had to stop the match. I mean,
none whatsoever. On top of the fact that Irish Pitbull was busted open, that shot with his dome piece to the ring post was
absolutely
devastating. But I will let you finish this off because there were some other.
Because the action doesn't stop there. That wasn't enough for Jackson Law or Renegade because they run down to the ring and they deliver a beatdown to Irish Pitbull, even hitting the Fabled. And I don't think we've seen this only a few times.
Yeah, this is probably the third time we've ever seen this
in PCW, ACW, and PCW history as a whole. Jackson Law, Casey Riddle, and Austin Kruger collectively hit the bang, pow, boom to send the final message to Irish Pitbull. Well, fellas, I got a message for you.
Uh-oh.
Kruger.
Oh, God. I
Riddle.
thought you were joking when you told me this.
Oh, no. This is serious. This is happening. Next week. Well, not next week. In 2 weeks, next show. Excuse me. Getting a little excited. Kruger, I think it's time you defend that All Allegiance Championship. And how about your opponent for that match be your little buddy, KC Riddle?
Wait a second. Whoa.
Yes.
Casey Riddle versus Austin Kruger.
Austin Kruger for the
in 2 weeks.
ACW All Allegiance Championship.
In 2 weeks.
Right. 2 weeks.
When your office is messed up, know that you did this to yourself. When the only 2 cars you have left that haven't been repoed are messed up. Remember that. You did this to yourself.
I have cars that have not been repoed, okay? I have a few that, because I was smart and I paid them off.
Well,
yeah, until they find out that you used the ACW card.
No, I used the old ACW card before all this began, when it was still just my money.
I hope so, because I would hate to see you
Plus, I had all
it to
that
the
buyout money.
I would hate to see you Flintstoning it to the office.
We might stop the limo. I don't know, but we might stop the limo.
We don't have shit. Okay, I literally got here today via Uber.
Oh, I drove. I sat in.
I mean,
my airplane.
That is a smart move.
My helicopter got repoed. All my cars got repoed.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
My
We're
yacht,
not talking about
all of it.
Yeah,
Gone.
That's
all my stuff.
That's gone.
Gone.
Yeah, that is gone.
I still have the limo and the limo driver.
Are you sleeping with the limo driver too, or what?
Jesus. Oh goodness. I thought you two just took a holiday thing to fix this, and apparently no. Apparently
Wow. Sir, while we're on the topic.
Whoa! Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa! Whoa!
Wow. Somebody tell this man to slow his roll. Okay. I feel, and this is just speculation. I feel Rockstar has a fanboy appreciation of Austin Kruger.
I agree.
Sure.
And if I were to offer any advice to Mr. Rockstar, it would be this. In said match with Austin Kruger and Casey Riddle, please, for the love of everything that's holy, please, for the love of your well-being, do not get involved. If Mason wants to cash in with his contract, he can cash in. It's his prerogative.
If he wants to go out there and get involved in that, I'm not liable.
I just don't want to see him, escorted from the arena on a stretcher.
Yeah, we don't want to see that. You're right. You're right.
I mean, if you are silly enough to get in front of Mason Stevens when he's cashing in, maybe you should get looked at.
Not even just that. If you're silly enough to get into the same ring as Austin Kruger, enter at your own risk. That's all I gotta say. But is that your big announcement? Your big announcement is Kruger and Casey Riddle for the All Allegiance Championship.
That's right.
You know, that's kind of brilliant. Maybe we could break apart the Renegades and they would stop being a pain in our ass.
You are an evil man.
And if anybody from Renegade, or Misery,
well, fuck you, Austin. Jesus.
Whoa! Or Johnny Rockstar gets involved in this match, they will be suspended without pay indefinitely.
I like the sound of that.
Because that's more money we don't have to spend.
That is
have you thought about true. Maybe giving just a little break to some of our roster, like the Renegades, and we could recoup our money that we've lost and get those yachts and those cars back a lot faster if we're not paying them their weekly salary.
Listen, I would rather not be put in the hospital. Thank you. But I do have an announcement since, Mac
floor is yours, brother.
Announcements and stuff. Next week, 2 weeks from now, we will see for the co-main event for Phenomenal Championship Wrestling presents Mayhem. Co-main event will be a tag team match, featuring the Infinity World Champion Dominator and the Global World Champion Michael the Angel versus the Intercontinental Champion Flower Princess and the Enforcer, the ACW Hardcore Champion Charlie Sarabai. That match should blow the roof off of this, but guys, it is that time.
And folks, next week, that's it. It's the final stop on the road to Apocalypse.
In 2 weeks, go home show to Apocalypse 4. So it is that time.
It is that time.
It is about that time. It is time to cut it out. I am the CEO of Phenomenal Championship Wrestling, Malcolm King. Alongside me, the ACW CEO, my brother from the same mother, Chris Mack, and my beautiful, elegant wife, the co-owner,
we got to get
general
you guys some
manager
therapy.
of PCW, Lavender D. We will see you all in 2 weeks' time for another episode of Inside the Ropes. Peace.
Yeah.